Hello, welcome to my official listing party of my album. Thank you for your patience. That comes out at midnight. I'm here with my team. We've got Jeff Carl, who co-wrote most of this album with me, Kelsey McMahon-Williams, my manager, and Mark Siegel, who produced most everything that I do. So we're super excited to listen through these songs, and you guys are going to hear them for the first time before anyone else. And yeah, let's get started. So this intro track is actually, it's one of my favorite songs on the album, which is weird because it's so short, but what I say in it is exactly where I was at in my life when I started thinking about being a solo artist. And I mumbled these 30 seconds into my phone as I was falling asleep one night about to move to Nashville. And it was kind of me telling myself, like, you made the right decision. I was leaving a band that I had spent years building, and I just kind of felt this piece of like, nothing in life is worth it unless you're happy. And making this jump was me finding my happiness. So here's the intro track. Hit it, Mark.
Take a breath, breathe it in, let it go, now to begin. It's your life, not a show. When you cry, nobody knows. What's the point of living a dream when there's no happy ending? If I have it all, but I'm losing me.
Oh, I love it so much.
That moment makes me feel like Rex in Toy Story when he's like, "It's a what? What is it?" Like, I want the next.
Well, and they can't hear it yet, but it leads into the next track, which I'm excited for everyone to hear it on the album. How it goes. Mark, incredible job.
Thank you.
So good.
It felt like a live show to me.
Yes.
When we first started talking about that. Like, that's how I want your show.
That should be the intro to my show,
Why not
so
start
yeah.
the album that way?
Which is also too, I feel like a great thing about full-length albums that you get to even think about. That is not as people don't do them quite as much anymore. It's nice that you get some of that extra thought and attention to detail.
Absolutely. Well, Jackie, I want to ask you a question from one of your fans that we asked earlier this week. Did you always want to be a solo artist, and how did you figure out your sound?
No, I've gotten this question in a couple interviews, and being a solo artist was never really in my plan. It was just kind of like the band I was in wasn't the right thing anymore, and it was this thing where I walked away from a record deal and was like, what do I do now? Like, I love music. I want to do music. I guess I'm a solo artist. Got to go figure out what that looks like. So finding my sound, I think, was the most intimidating part. I moved to Nashville. Mark was one of the first people that was like, hey, I want to make your record with you. I was like, what record? I don't know what I am at this point. And this next song that we're about to play, You Want It, I Want It, was actually the song that kind of planted the seed of who I wanted to be as a solo artist. We wrote it actually for the band as kind of an experiment to be like, what would we be like as pop artists? And then when I got that demo back, I was like, oh no, wait, this is Jackie as a pop solo artist. And it's how I knew. It was the first single, and it started off this project. So let's listen.
I lied when I said I didn't need you. It's just my pride coming through the speakers. We've tried about 1,000,000 times, but I'm tired of waking up without you. Am I realizing or just fantasizing I need you? 'Cause being without you, it just don't amount to being with you. If you want it, and I want it, I think that we can get back to where we started. And I promise this can work if we start with being honest. You want it, I want it, let's get back to where we started. You want it, I want it. So speak your mind, can you live without me? Have we been blind to all we really could be? Then why, oh why, do we need a guarantee? When in time we'll find it was worth the uncertainty. Am I realizing or just fantasizing I need just don't amount to being with you. If you want it, and I want it, I think that we can get back to where we started. And I promise, this can work if we stop with being honest. You want it, I want it, let's get back to where we started. You want it, I want it. You want it, I want it. Oh, you want it, I want it, I want it. So speak your mind. Can you live without me? Have we been blind to all we really could be? Then why, oh why, do we need a guarantee? When in time we'll find it was worth the uncertainty. If you want it, and I want it, I think that we can get back to where we started. And I promise, this can work if we stop with being honest. You want it, I want it, let's get back to where we started. You want it, I want it. You want it, you want it, I want it. Do you want it?
Yay! So we got the physical copies in this week, and it is a whole, I don't think you can see this at all, but it's a whole nother level to see it in person and feel like it's real, this like concept I've had in my mind for years. So we love that. I think we should get more champagne. Also, Kelsey.
Sure.
Also, shout out to these flowers that Jeff got me that are
Carl.
pink, that are pink to match the album theme, and
Obviously.
such an angel. I
The
really.
brand is strong with you.
Oh, thank you. Thank
And the
you.
champagne is strong with you.
Okay, so the next
facing
song.
me.
Let me double
Didn't
check.
launch it at least.
The next song is called Best of Me. I wrote that one in LA with two of my favorite Italians, Lillian, I don't know how to say their names Italian, Caputo, and Giulio Cercato. I said them so poorly, but this song is kind of just like really appreciating my partner in the way that he's always seen the best of me when I couldn't see it for myself. And I just talk about these little moments that were really special in our relationship that, yeah, really meant a lot to me. And he's the best. As Jeff mentioned, this is one of the few about him on the record. But he's secretly the best behind this whole project, has been him supporting me the whole way. So
You didn't
Shout out to
question
Zach.
me when I said I wasn't ready to love you. You let me talk about him till my feelings were all figured out. You never saw me as broken, you saw me as whole from the start. So now I'm picking up all of the pieces, 'cause you show me how. When I wake up at your place, no makeup on my face, there's nothing you would change. You like me better than myself, don't know nobody else who would have been the same. No, 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 don't know how you do it. No, 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 how you see right through me. When I see the worst of me, you see the best of me. Yeah, the best of me. Oh, baby, no, 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 I don't know how you do it. I remember the night of my birthday, I cried on your couch. 'Cause I hated the way that the pressure was pushing me down. Holding my face in your hands, I was drowning, but you pulled me out. Said, how could somebody like me have a thing to be worried about? When I wake up at your place, with no makeup on my face, yeah, there's nothing you would change at all. You like me better than myself, don't know nobody else who would have been the
one my dad says is a rap. That one part
A
that's not
rap?
close to a rap, but
It's rap-esque.
Thanks, Dad.
it's rap-ish. Okay, the next song is Telephone Lovers. I wrote this one with Mark and Kenny.
Yeah, Kenny Davis.
This one is like a sneaky favorite of mine because I want to listen to it forever when it's on. Like, I just feel good vibes. So yeah.
It's one of those songs too that you can play for like hours
Yeah.
and not get tired of it. It's like chill pop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
absolutely.
love this one. Let's hit it.
I told you not a chance. Wasn't ready for romance, and you were living in the springs. 11 hours from me. 4 years later, here we are. Now I've got a drawer in your apartment. I'm still in a different state, and you're just so far away. You make it so hard, so hard, so hard. Every time that I have to leave, it's killing me. You're so far, so far, so far. Every time that I have to leave, it's killing me. My heart's always into half of it stays with you. Here in these lonely nights, oh, with you by my side, you can put me back together. Say the word, I'll be yours forever. Don't wanna be just telephone lovers. Just telephone lovers. I can still smell you on my shirt, and I love it, but it hurts when I wake in the dead of night. You're not there to hold me tight. I can't do this forever. You know that I'm in it till forever. Are you there too? You make it so hard, so hard, so hard. Every time that I have to leave, it's killing me. You're so far, so far, so far. Every time that I have to leave, it's killing me. My heart's always into half of it stays with you. Here in these lonely nights, oh, with you by my side, you can put me back together. Say the word, I'll be yours forever. Don't wanna be just telephone lovers. You're so far, so far, so far. Every time that I have to leave, it's killing me. My heart's always into half of it stays with you. Here in these lonely nights, oh, with you by my side, you can put me back together. Say the word, I'll be yours forever. Don't wanna be just telephone lovers.
Oh, Telephone Lovers! Jeff, I just wish you guys could hear him all day long. Honestly, people I'm not even that close with will come up to me and be like, I love that guy Jeff from your stories. Like, this has happened so many times that I'm like, everyone in my life knows Jeff. It's weird.
I can attest to that.
Yeah.
I agree.
They're like, oh, that guy
You
in your story.
radiate joy.
Yes.
Wait, what? I can't
Wait,
hear.
what? Can you say that again?
So this is perfect.
No, legit red.
Because I'm about to highlight Jeff a little bit more because this next song, Gravity, is the first song we wrote together, and I have to tell the story of how we met. I got invited to this like pop writers round. I was super new to town. I didn't know like anyone who wrote pop music, so I was going to meet people. And the person that invited me got sick and couldn't go. So if you know me, you know my idea of hell is being in a room of people and not knowing one person. I mean, I am just like, everyone thinks I'm a loser the whole time. Like, I'm just like, was cringing. It was so awful. I was so nervous. Like, the whole thing was stressful. And this little beacon of light appears. He was late, but he showed up. And he goes up to
I made
play.
it in time for the brownies. is.
You did make it
I
into
love a
art.
snack table.
He made it, and he played a clip of his song, so we all go around and play little clips so we can, like, show each other what we do. And after he plays it, he says to everyone, I am tragically available, so if you want to write, please let me know. Like, you just tell me, I'll be there, I have nothing going on. And I'm over here in the corner like, me either. Like, I don't
I
either.
always feel like I have to like scream that because everyone's like, send me dates, and I'm like,
Like,
no,
send me
you
dates
send
in
me
July.
dates. Like, I'm available.
This don't you understand?
So
I'm
it
trying to do
made
this
me
more.
it made me feel safe to actually ask him, like, oh, he's not gonna reject me. So I was like, hi, I'm Jackie, like, will you write with me? My schedule's completely open too. So we did a session with Chase Martinez. Shout out Chase. He is the other missing piece of this album. He's in Colorado living his best life, and we love him. So we did our first session together, and like
And that might have even been one of my first sessions with Chase too.
that
I
was your
think
first session with Chase,
Yeah,
yeah,
that was my
because
first
I
session,
had
yeah.
just started working with him, and I was like, okay, these two are gonna be great.
we love
And what we were just talking about during this song was like, Jeff and I just have the exact same melodic tendencies, and so we just go to the same place naturally. That makes it so easy for us to write together. And so for this being our
You also are
first
so
song,
great with showing up with like 1,000 ideas, which is
Yeah.
just helpful as a fish out point. Like we can start
Yeah.
from zero, but you're always like great with
that's
ideas.
super important to me. But you can make anything complete, so
Oh.
we're a good team. So this is
Human Valentine
the
card.
first one we wrote together, and it's still one of my favorites. The Gravity never gets old. So let's hear Gravity.
Yes.
Side note, your vocals are in this.
Oh, Jeff is
That was
all
the thing we
over.
discovered- That was the thing we discovered early on was just I would like there would be times when she does you do vocals. She is and you do vocals, and we were like I was like this is not to be selfish. I just want to sing on this song. Because I love the song.
Well, and, like,
then we realized our voices.
They
matched
just
very
go
well.
perfectly together. And they go so perfectly that I don't notice that we're both there. And like we were listening to Gravity, my niece was like, who's the guy? I'm like, you can hear that? Like we're so intertwined that it sounds like one thing to me. I love it. Yes.
Opposite sides fighting for my eyes to stay open wide until I can get through another round before one of us goes to sleep. I say, how dare you take me for granted? You say that I always take advantage. I know that I can be impossible to please. Why do I push you away when I could hold you? Why do I tell you I hate you when I love you? You know I love you. There's something between us, more than
reverence.
So, we are glad that you guys can't hear everything Jeff Carl is saying because he is wildly inappropriate, but we are having a great old time over here. I hope you guys are having fun listening again. I forgot this is the first time everyone is getting to hear the complete thing, so thanks for being here. This next song is Romanticized, which I wrote with Jeff and Trace Martinez. And this song started because I was in a grocery store and I heard this song that I used to listen to with this guy that is so irrelevant to my life. But somehow when it came on, I'm like, wow, this could have been love. And I'm in this music video and it's raining and we're running to each other. And then I'm like, get in my car and I'm like, what is wrong with you? Like, you don't even like this person. So I started with that idea of romanticizing. And I came to Jeff and...
Because like at that time when I was chronically single, I was like, I can relate. You know, you turn like, someone's like, hi, and I'm like, are we married?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's such like a pattern in my life for sure, of making everything seem better than it really is. So this song is kind of actually just making fun of me, and we just had a great time putting music that we could dance to, all of my drama. And I love this one. This one is still so fun. And
Do you remember what you bought at the grocery store?
it was my lunch break. I was working right by it. Probably just like a little frozen meal. I don't know. It was, what's it called? Turnip truck.
Oh.
Probably got
Oh,
a
they
made
were
meal.
talking about frozen meals. I was like,
No, I'm more of an Amy's.
Yeah,
Anyways, so this is the first song too that I feel like got a lot of people's attention that I was doing this new project, and I've had a lot of support, especially in India. If you're in India and you've listened to the song, thank you. You guys have been amazing, and I appreciate that love.
Brazil too.
And Brazil, yeah. So let's play it. Romanticized.
I'm not gonna lie, I think of you sometimes, like in the grocery line when that song we used to like starts playing. Ooh, suddenly I'm 18, wishing you would hold me.
Mark was just saying over here, Kelsey was like, wow, they really like to dance. And Mark was like, this is the entire session. Every time.
Writing session.
We just like, I don't know, we create movies
Also-
from song.
Literally, there are some rights where halfway through you have to remind yourself, this is supposed to be fun, right?
Yeah.
And it's so nice because otherwise you don't have to
Yeah.
really think about that. It
Yeah.
just is. Even if we're writing like a sad song, we're like having a good time, which is not. That is not the case with everybody.
Yeah.
So.
And because writing can
Yeah,
be
you can
hard
enjoy
too.
it. Yeah.
Like it's like writing is like solving a puzzle. Like you know what you want to say, but you have to find words that rhyme and in an order that makes sense. And so it is like brain work. I'm dead after sessions, so I feel like our dance breaks are releasing the energy. But
It's super helpful when you like the people in the room.
yes, and I think that's what's been so great about this album is I really just worked with people I loved and like had such chemistry with, and so the whole thing was so fun. That's the thing, is if a session isn't fun, I probably didn't get a good song from it, and I'm never not having fun with these guys. So this next song, very different vibe. We're bringing it down. I'm like still I'm catching my breath from dancing. But the next song is Luckiest, which I wrote with Mark here. And this song has a really special story. This was literally a phone call with my first love, and it was kind of the end of that chapter, and really it was like catching up and being like, I'm happy for you, and this is what's going on in my life. And it was this like sweet thing, but also this bittersweet thing of just realizing he wasn't in the same place that I was now in. I had moved on and found someone that I really loved, and he was still kind of stuck in a different place. So I wrote a lot of this just alone in my room on an acoustic guitar. I still have the voice memo on my phone. It's crazy to hear. The song was pretty close to complete, and I never thought I was going to show anyone. Like, it wasn't that I wrote this song and I was like, this is great, this is going to be a single. It was like, no, I'll literally never show anyone this because it was just for me. It was to process this thing. So one night, Mark and I had a production session for a different song. We finished really quickly, and he was like, well, do you have anything you want to work on? Like, we have time. I was like, I have this thing. Like, I don't know if it's good. It's just kind of like, just whatever, just hear it. Like, I feel like that's how you are when you bring an idea to a session. You're like so self-deprecating in case it's not good. You're like, this is probably nothing. Like, I think it sucks. Yeah, I think it's like.
Unless it's something.
Unless you think it's.
Only if you want to.
That's like what creating art is. It's like, well, this is vulnerable, so I'm gonna pretend I hate it just in case. But I showed it to Mark, and he thought it was special.
Yeah, the melody is what drew me to it, which is funny because it was the part that you were most vulnerable about.
Yeah.
But it was the chorus melody, I think, first that you showed me, and I was like, we have to write that right now.
And I remember you going to this piano, and I didn't believe in the song until I heard you play it on the piano, and I was like, this is so different. This is like magical.
And we wrote the whole thing right there, the whole song. And my favorite part is the fact that the last part that was almost written but not written yet was the bridge.
Which is the best
And I had that progression in that same key for like a year on my phone as like a musical progression that I really, really was like, I love this.
I forgot about
Something's
that.
going to be to this. And you started singing this melody, and it's like, it was like this marriage of music and melody, and I was like, that's it. Like,
well, and I remember you saying to me, like, what do you have left to say in this song? Like, you've said a lot, like, what else is left? And so I really had to that's what writing sessions are too, is like figuring out what do I actually think about the situation. But you don't know that before you go into a session, and you really get to dive into those emotions. So I sat here thinking, and I was like, I guess just that, like, I want him to be free, and I think he's still stuck, and I'm like wishing him the best in the situation, and he thinks that he maybe misses me, and I think that he misses him, and he misses the person he was when we were together, when we were younger, and before life got complicated. So that bridge.
Well, it was just cool because melodically, or the progression itself felt like this release.
Yeah.
And then lyrically, you wrote the release of the whole song, and it was like this. And it was also only the second song I think we wrote together.
Yeah, the second one.
So this like set the rest of
It was
the record.
crazy. And the vocals we used were from that day.
demo.
It was
We
like
tried to beat it multiple
we
times
recut it, and
for
we
the
were like,
demo
this
vocals.
doesn't have the emotion, it doesn't have the magic. Like, I was probably back there crying. Like, it really was raw in what it was.
Fun behind the scenes thing too. This is one of we had our like meeting each other moment at that listening party or whatever.
Yeah.
But when we set up a write, initially I think it was probably like, oh, can you send over like a few songs?
Yeah.
Just like, yes, let's work together, but send over a few songs. And it was like a little SoundCloud playlist of maybe 5 songs.
Oh
that
my
maybe you
gosh,
sent
it
me
was
or
so
something. I
small
can't remember.
then. Now there's so many on it.
But like it's funny now, like knowing you years like a couple years later and
Yeah.
having worked together so much. Is I like now that you've been releasing these songs that I wasn't writing on, but I remember hearing on a random SoundCloud playlist
Yeah.
of when they were just demos, and this was one of the first ones that I was like, this team, this girl.
It was it was
it's so
the
good.
second song. It really was. So
It's a special one.
this is lucky us. It's super special to me and all of us, I guess.
Hello, old friend, how have you been? It's been so many years, I don't even know where to begin. Your niece got older, your hair is longer, but you're the same. Still got your demons and all your reasons, you never change. I tell him I found the love of my life. I know it's breaking his heart 'cause he's still not doing alright. He says I'll never love someone the way I loved you, baby. You really screwed it up for me, 'cause I can't seem to beat the love we had. Though time has passed, I can't forget the way you made me feel inside. The man who gets your heart is the luckiest man alive. Then he lets his guard fall down. Says I thought I'd be settled down, but I can't stand to settle now. If I never met you, I'd never know I'm missing everything. And I'm not healing, 'cause I know the feeling when you're with me. I tell him he was the love of my life. I know it's breaking his heart 'cause he's still not doing alright. He says I'll never love someone the way I loved you, baby. You really screwed it up for me, 'cause I can't seem to beat the love we had. Though time has passed, I can't forget the way you made me feel inside. The man who gets your heart is the luckiest man alive. Oh,
get all the chills writing that.
We did.
It was special.
I wish it was like a little more emotional. Like just like a little bit.
Yeah,
Just a slight.
excuse you.
We can't have people crashing their cars because they're crying, Jeff. Okay,
I know, like, can we take a cry break?
I remember pulling over a couple miles down at some gas station because like I needed to listen to it fully. Like, I couldn't keep driving. I was like, because you sent it to me right away.
It was late
I'm sure.
at night too.
It was late,
like
yeah. It was back when I
11:30.
was working 9 to 5. Oh my gosh, I was killing myself. I was like leaving the office at 5, going to Mark's 5:30, riding until 10, sleeping for like 1 hour. It was awful, but made it work.
All right, we have another question for you, Jackie. What was your favorite part of making this record?
Yes, I've thought about that a lot, and I really think writing it. Like, it was so fun putting together the visuals and all the bigger ideas and the concepts, but writing it, these past couple of years, I have grown as a human, like 100%. And that's what's so crazy to me about writing songs is like I literally grow as a person. It's like walking into a therapy session, like processing feelings, because I think that's the biggest thing is once we write it, it feels released. Like a lot of these songs, when I leave the room, I'm like, I'm okay now with that particular topic. And so that's been huge. I feel like I have learned so many lessons and grown up so much, and like literally had my friends in this room like be able to help me grow up as a person, which is crazy that in our calendar, you know, we have Write with Jeff and Mark today, and it's work, but it's not. It's like, it's crazy. So I'm super grateful that I get to be a songwriter. I think it's such a privilege that we get to do that, and yeah, just the relationships I've developed from that, it's been really special. So.
With it being your first record too, we got to explore like your sound too, which
Yeah.
I think we spent a lot of time.
Well, and
in every song.
that's the thing though that I thought was gonna be so hard, and like I have no idea, and it was because I met you that I was like, oh, he figured it out. Like I guess I'll just go along with this because it made sense. It was like I wrote with Mark, and I was like, wait, yeah, this is what I would have picked, but I'm terrible at using words to describe sounds. I always say that. I'm like, Jeff, so I want it to be like this thing. I have no idea how to say it. It's sparkly.
I was saying, like, I'm not much better.
I know.
I'm like
Jeff-
raindrops and sparkles.
Jeff describes things as raindrops and sparkles. He really does. But no,
Like, Mark,
you
give me something sparkly.
you know chords, and I don't know chords, so at least you have that going for you. But yeah, it was so natural creating that sound, so that was really cool. But yeah, okay, what's next? Where are you? Where are you? Okay. This one, honestly, was kind of the one on the record where I was a little more scared to put out because it's so personal about the person I'm writing about that it was just kind of, I don't know, made me a little nervous of like, am I exposing them? Is this not, I don't know. But the biggest point for me in this song was not just that I see them struggling, but that like I want the best for them, and I have so much hope for them, and I believe in them, and that's what kind of made me feel like really okay about putting this out, because it's just kind of an explanation of like I still think about you, and I hope you're well, and I never wanted to bail on this situation. I only wanted the best for you, and so to me it's hopeful. Like it says a lot of really heavy stuff, but I think when I listen to the second verse, it's like, are you still scared to open up because you're afraid that it'll hurt? Are you still nervous about the answer when you question what you're worth? And I think sometimes when I hear that, I'm like, that can apply to me. Like, I can feel that way about myself. And so it's transformed to this super personal song about this relationship to, like, I need to remind myself of these things that, yeah, this song is special. And it was the last one finished on the record, I think. So no one's heard this. No one's heard it yet.
Listen right now.
Yeah, the very first listen. This is Where Are You?
Disconnected flights in Austin, couldn't help but think of you. Wonder if you're somewhere out there, maybe thinking about me too. Where are you? Where are you? Did you move back to the mountains cause you couldn't stand the pain? Are you still self-medicating with the weed and cheap champagne? Where are you? Where are you? I hope you know that I never meant to give up on you like it seemed. I fought so hard, but the truth is that it And I bet nobody knows when the depression starts to win. I know you. I know you. Are you still scared to open up 'cause you're afraid that it'll hurt? You still nervous about the answer when you question what you're worth? I know you. I know you. I hope you know that I never meant to give up on you like it seemed. I fought so hard, but the truth is that it hurt more to stay than to leave. Where are you now? I know you, but you're not around. I hope you found it. You never lost it. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you now? I know you, but you're not around. I hope you found it. You never lost it.
That was your first listen to the finished product. What did you think?
I was gonna say, like, this is a genuine listening party because I had not heard that version yet.
Oh,
It's so
yeah,
good.
Jeff co-wrote it with me. I didn't mention that. That was me, Jeff, and Chase. Special. Oh, I love that one.
Also, yeah, we do Chase. Yeah, we have to keep referencing him because he is such a part of.
He is such a big part of this record. I wanted to like FaceTime. He's probably on his BMX somewhere like with no service, so I can't reach Chase. But Chase,
He's out in the mountains right now.
we love you so much, and we're so grateful you're on this record and added so much magic to it. So love you, Chase. Okay, this next song is Trust Issues, and this. Another thing, people keep asking me what's my favorite, and I still don't know.
It's a good problem to have.
But Trust Issues is up there for so many reasons. But, so I wrote this one with Chase and Emily Falaby, and this started with that toy box sound, and me just saying, be kind to yourself, they say. And I had this title on my phone called Trust Issues. So I was like, okay, who am I writing this about? Like, who do I have trust issues with? And I'm like sitting there in my head and I'm like, oh.
Jafar
I'm like, shoot. I'm like, oh, wait, it's me. So that's honestly how it came about because I thought I was going to write a song about trust issues in a relationship or something. And I was like, girl, you don't trust yourself. Like, so I think this song is so special because talking about mental health is really important to me, and this was a song that really opened that door to make it a big part of my story because it is such a big part of my story. Like, I've struggled with anxiety and depression and gone to therapy and like grown so much as a human because I've been in a group of friends that it's okay to talk about that and then it's like normal to go to therapy, and I think so many people don't have that yet, and that's why it is such an honor to get to write songs like this, to just be like, I struggle with loving myself, especially when I'm struggling with anxiety or depression. So this song fell out in like an hour probably, and it was done, and it was very special. What?
Just enjoying the way you described that. It
It did. It literally just like, here was the song. It just came out because.
it's a
Well,
visual.
and
No,
I don't.
it's good.
This might. Not everyone's gonna get this, but if you know what the Enneagram is, the three writers were threes on the Enneagram. We're the achievers, and so we all feel the exact same pressure of like, I have to be perfect or I suck. So it was like we all understood this concept very well. This song also got on Radio Disney. It was the biggest highlight of 2020 for me. I had no idea this was coming. Kelsey, my freaking boss, manager. Cheers to that. I mean, just like sent an email and was like, hey, this song's great. You should play it on your station. We didn't hear back right away, and a fan was like, you're on Radio Disney. And I was like, Kelsey, how? What's happening? She's like, I don't know. I never heard back.
But I didn't want to tell you about it because I didn't know if it was
Yeah,
gonna happen
I didn't
or
even
not.
know. And we got the new music spot, and it played for months in rotation, and Radio Disney was so kind to me. Like, they let me host. I did like Latino Heritage Month with them. We did so much, and it was such a huge blessing. And just, it was really the thing that validated me of like, okay, I'm not crazy that I'm like doing music full time. There's like someone who actually likes it, and it was a really special moment. And
yeah, thank you to Phil and Austin
Yeah.
at Radio Disney. We
Seriously.
owe you the world for giving her first real shot at radio.
it was the real deal. It was a big deal. So this is Trust Issues. It's probably maybe might be my favorite. I don't know on the record.
Be kind to yourself, they say. Most of the time, I don't act that way. Wish I could see what they see when they're looking at me. But I don't see myself that way. Pretty face, ugly thoughts, caught up in the things I'm not. All I see are all my flaws. I got trust issues with the voice in my head, 'cause it's telling me lies I can't seem to forget. Like you're not enough and you don't deserve love, and I wish I could make it shut up. I got trust issues, but they're all in my mind. Beating myself is someone I don't like. With this damage I do and what I put me through, I'm believing in things that aren't true. I got trust issues. I got trust issues. How could I ever love someone with all the self-sabotage I've done? 'Cause I push them away when I want them to stay. And I broke my own heart enough. I got trust issues with the voice in my head, 'cause it's telling me lies I can't seem to forget. Like you're not enough and you don't deserve love, and I wish I could make it shut up. I got trust issues, but they're all in my mind. Beating myself is someone I don't like. With this damage I do and what I put me through, I'm believing in things that aren't true. I got trust issues. I got trust issues. Pretty face, ugly thoughts, caught up in the things I'm not. All I see are all my flaws. I got trust issues with the voice in my head, 'cause it's telling me lies I can't seem to forget. Like you're not enough and you don't deserve love, and I wish I could make it shut up. I got trust issues, but they're all in my mind. Beating myself is someone I don't like. With this damage I do and what I put me through, I'm believing in things that aren't true. I got trust issues. I got trust issues.
Yay! Okay, next up is Hourglass. We're making our way through. We're getting towards the
what
second
number
half. I don't even know.
It's so good.
But Hourglass, that one. Mark was like, "Oh great, we're doing the cry song."
Another
Oh, no.
emotional day.
But this one was such a moment where whatever we wrote was so real time. It was like I literally probably the night before got a call from my parents that my grandma would be passing away. And it was this weird thing where my grandma had dementia for probably 9 years, and so I hadn't been able to talk to her in like 9 years. She was there, we could visit with her, but she wasn't really present. She couldn't really speak to me. So it was like I was all of a sudden processing that entire thing. I don't think it hit me until she was about to be gone that like what I was missing was that time that I should have gotten to spend with her that I didn't because she couldn't communicate with me. And so I had a writing session that day, and I'm like, I can barely even function right now. Like, I had just been crying and processing these emotions. So I went downstairs. Mark was working on something else, and I went to the piano, and I just started like mumbling things and told him what was going on. And our co-writer, who I hadn't written with yet, Sam James, came over, told him what was going on, and every single one of us in the room had a grandparent with dementia that passed away from that. And so...
And mine just passed away like 4 months before
Yeah.
that day.
Yeah, I think
like,
all of us, yeah.
Yeah, and Sam,
It's like
he
that
came
year.
in, it was that same year. So you came up, it's funny because it was before Sam got here, and you brought the concept up after you were sitting at the piano, and you had said, I don't know if this is what we want to go for, but like, this is what I'm going through today. And I was like, ooh, I get it. I just went through the same thing 4 months beforehand, and I was like, it might be something we should probably write about. And then Sam came in and said, I literally just went through this last year. And I was like,
And you had the title, right?
Yeah, I had Hourglass that I had wanted to write for like 2 years. And it was about the Alzheimer's thing.
Yeah.
And I brought that up, and we just kind of looked at each other. We were like, I think we probably have to write this today.
Literally every single lyric in it is so special, and like, it's
Another
such
one where your vocal is from the demo.
Yeah.
Because it was the most emotional.
Oh yeah, I was crying.
You
Oh
cried
yeah,
in the
I was
bridge.
crying in
You
the
can
bridge.
hear
You
it.
can
You
hear
can
it. There's so many special. Oh, I wanted to bring up. There's so many special things. Like the guitar was the guitar your grandma gave to you, and you used that on the track.
Yeah, she gave me that guitar the day she actually told me she knew she was getting Alzheimer's.
Wow.
So it's to this day, like in the studio.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I had mentioned this, but was this the music? This was one
It was
where,
filmed at your house.
Well,
yes.
and
Yeah,
honestly,
right?
in terms of
at
any.
his grandparents' piano.
That
Oh.
was my grandparents' piano, and my
That's-
grandparents that specific piano was from my granddad and grandma Sheila that like let me inherit it when they passed
That
away.
is so
And my granddad
amazing.
had Alzheimer's, and Alzheimer's is
That
super
is
prominent in my
crazy.
family. And I remember when that song came out, and you were like, "Can we use the piano?" And it's like, "Of course." And then I saw the music video, and I was just like, I was crying.
Oh my
The
God.
first
No.
time I heard it, I was crying because my grandmother was about to pass away from
That is
dementia
so
at the same time, and so like I
crazy.
sent it to my mom immediately
It's
because it was
so
her
prevalent.
mom, and
Yeah.
I think everyone has someone who can connect with that.
Yeah, I think
struggle.
that's what this song did for all of us, at least. It was
Yeah.
like, oh, this is a real thing that everybody seems to be experiencing.
Yeah, and it's a weird thing because it's not talking about you're being sad about death. It's like you're sad about the loss of time that like
Yes.
could have been there. It's this weird I had just weird feelings of like disappointment and like regret that I didn't get those moments that I felt like I should have had. So it's a weird thing to process that I didn't really. Honestly, that was like my first death in my life was my grandma. So we wrote this song. It was super special, and this never happens. We released it within like a month or 2 months. It was so real time because I was like, this is what matters to me right now.
And I think what's cool about that too is, and this has kind of hit me over this past year, but like, music kind of lives forever.
Yeah.
So this song, the guitar that's being played on it, the piano that's being played on it, your voice, the lyrics, everything that we wrote about gets to live forever, and it honors all of our grandparents.
And that's something that I remember too, like why I do this, because music is not an easy career. We were talking about how everyone thinks it's glamorous and it's everything, but it's hard and it's a lot of work that you don't always feel like people care. And when you have a song like this where you get messages where people are just crying and like, this helped me heal, that's when it's like, I don't care if this sells 0 records. If it makes someone feel connected and like they're healing, it was worth it. And so this was that song for us. And I love it. It's called Hourglass.
It must be hard to not recall the pictures hanging on your wall. I wonder if you know my name. Your mind has led you far away. You're a stranger in a body who held me as I fell asleep. A ghost walking hallways, stumbling on memories. The strangest part of letting go is knowing I have no control. I'm trying it slipping so quick through my fingertips, and I think I've realized that time moves way too fast through the hourglass. I wish that I could ask you if you're scared, but I know you'll still say that heaven's real. Now Grandpa's crying on the phone, 'cause he hears God calling you home. Fabric of my own heart, without you I'm torn apart. I'm feeling the silence without you. It's just too hard, the strangest part of letting go is knowing I have no control. I'm trying to get back time we didn't have. It's slipping so quick through my fingertips, and I think I've realized that time moves way too fast through the hourglass. Will I forget the way you laugh, the way you cry after goodbyes? How it sounds when you're humming to yourself. You in your garden talking to the flowers, how you help them grow, how you help me grow. I'm trying to get back time we didn't have. It's slipping so quick through my fingertips, and I think I've realized that time moves way too fast through the hourglass.
Well, this is a pretty poignant question after that song. It asks, is it scary to release songs that are super personal?
Yes. Actually, the next song is the perfect example of that. It's terrifying because when you're writing it, you're just with your friends and you feel the freedom to say whatever you want because these people know you and love you and you feel safe. And then you're like, okay, great. And then you think of, oh, wait, my mom's going to hear that, my grandma's going to hear that, my friend's going to hear that, my boyfriend's going to hear that. Like, then you start realizing, like, how are people going to interpret this? It's terrifying. And two, because you can't, like, explain the full story every time. So this next song, it's called Lose You. And this is, like, this was the scariest for me on this record personally because it's the most exposing of me at my worst. Because truly, this song is me at my worst. And when we wrote this, I had just come back from a trip with my boyfriend. I cried at the airport because I was so unhappy with myself. I was just like, I don't know, just super needy and insecure and just draining the life out of my relationship. And at the airport, having a meltdown, Googling therapists in Nashville. And I found my therapist that I'm seeing tomorrow in Nashville from this airport meltdown. And I went to my session that I had that week with Jeff and Chase. And I just was like, this is where I'm at. Let's write this. So we start writing it. We get these lyrics. And Jeff's like, Jeff takes a little pause. And he's like, okay, so I think, like, I love you and I know you. But, like, we need to make you just a little bit more likable in this song. And I was like, Jeff, that's the point. I'm not being likable. And, like, it was such a surreal moment. And, like, I was really going through that. I didn't like myself at the time. I wasn't being likable. And the fact that I, like, was able to sit there and, like, tell you guys the absolute worst of myself and y'all hear me and not judge me, but be like, okay, let's heal from this. Let's start here. Let's write this and, like, get to turn it into this thing that says it so well that can then be, like, a vessel for other people who are going through that is crazy. So
I love hitting the low lows, but you don't set up camp there. That's not where you build your house.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, no, let's scoot down there. We'll
Yes.
nuzzle in, and then how do we shape this in a way?
Well, and that's the thing, in that
Right.
song,
We can then
in
write it.
Lose
And
You,
then
we changed the lyrics from I don't want to lose you, and the last one is I'm not gonna lose you. That is Jeff Carl saying we are not
We're
staying
rising
at a
above.
low.
You gotta
And
have the pivot.
it's so true, and again, how music is so healing, I wrote that, and you know, I was starting my journey of like, I'm gonna get better, I'm gonna get a check on my anxiety and what it's doing to my life right now, I'm gonna go to a therapist, I'm gonna really work hard, because this relationship does mean so much to me, and it's something to fight for. But the bigger point of the song that we got to was, it's not the relationship, it's not this other person I want to make happy, it's literally me. I have to be happy with myself, I have to live with myself every day, so I want to be someone that I love, and that's the point of the song. My favorite line is, I'll fight to find me so we can get well, because I think in any relationship, you can't have a good relationship if you don't know who you are and if you don't love yourself, and that is what my partner has always told me, that he needs me to love Jack, and that's what the song is about, is finding that person again and loving that person. And I worked really hard to get back to myself, and I'm so proud of that, and it's so
Proud of
cool
you.
to have this documented that we did it.
Yeah.
Lately I don't even know myself. Anxiety makes me someone else. I'm crumbling under the pressure I put on myself. I'm dragging you down with me, sorry I put you through hell. I don't wanna lose you. No, I don't wanna lose you. No, you do anything to get a smile, and I'm aware it's been a while. I'm scared to death that one day you'll say you've had enough. The sad thing is I think that's what I deserve, not your love. I don't wanna lose you. No, I don't wanna lose you. No, I think that I might be losing myself, but I'll fight to find me so we can get well. 'Cause I don't wanna lose you. Is it alright for me to hold you when I have nothing left to cling to? I wish I was stronger, but all my fears anchor me down. This weight on my chest, it gets lighter when you are around. So I'm not gonna lose you. No, I'm not gonna lose you. No, I think that I might be losing myself, but I'll fight to find me so we can get well. 'Cause I'm not gonna lose you. If you stick around, we'll get better now. If you stick around, promise that I'll love you better now. You won't. If you stick around, we'll get better now. If you stick around, promise that I'll love you better now.
Was this the one that originally had the play?
Those going home to you?
Okay.
So Jeff was just saying how a thing that I feel like is my thing are post choruses, and if you don't know what that is, that's that little section like right before the song ends. So in this one, it's if you stick around, we'll get better now. It's my favorite thing. We do it in every song. We do Romanticized and Gravity, all the things. I'm a sucker for a good post chorus, and I get that from Taylor Swift because I love her. Like,
Wait, who? No, just
Taylor
kidding.
Swift. I was insulted.
To
Taylor's.
Taylor.
Okay, so we're getting towards the very end, and this next song is called Coming Home to You, and it is the song that holds title of the album, Thank You for Your Patience. Almost did not make the album. It was a weird thing because like you were saying, none of us really I don't know.
We loved the
song.
It was one of the most fun.
Let's get this.
It was one of the most fun
We had
writing
so
sessions.
much
Yes,
fun.
I was gonna say,
We
but
danced the
I think
whole
my friend is-
At the
time.
end of the day, when I sent the day one demo to everybody, I was like, "Oh, this is fun. It's never gonna be a record."
Yeah, right. And then as the manager, I have to say, the first time I hear the demo, I was like, okay, production, we need to do a little work, but that hook, oh my god,
Yeah.
that hook in the chorus
We loved
is
it.
so good, and so I would just not let it go.
Yeah,
I just,
she was always like,
you know,
what about Coming Home to You?
it's
What about Coming Home to
Yeah,
You?
you're welcome.
And so it came time, I picked the songs on the album. Coming Home to You was not on it.
And I was like, sliding this one.
She
back
was
in
really,
there.
she was like
Well, and there were
respecting.
multiple people that had said this song, like
many
this one, this
A&R
one,
people,
radio people.
many, like,
Yeah.
We were like, meh, I don't know.
friends. Yeah.
So it was not on the record, and I was over at Kelsey's with her and her husband, and we were talking about it, and her husband was like, "It's not on the record. It literally says the title of your album." I was like, "It does?" Like I didn't know that. I was like, "Oh, okay, then it has to be on the album." Kelsey was like, "Thank God."
I was like,
finally.
I don't care how you listen to me through my husband. That's fine. That's what.
Yes. So because of that, thank you for your patience. It was such a theme that I was. Sometimes you get stuck on like titles or themes you want to write in songs. So this one I had written at least 3 times in like multiple songs, and I had forgotten it was in this one, and it's the only time this is said on the album. Another shout out to Kelsey. This was during quarantine, so we had to do our revisions for this album on Zoom, which is pretty difficult, we have learned. And we hopped on with Kelsey, and she was just like, it needs some horns. And we're like, what? Like, what?
It's just missing.
Why
Something.
horns?
Am I crazy? Does
Like,
it need horns?
just try this. Mark, do this. And Mark, tell us about who you hired, because I'm obsessed with him.
Well, it's funny because I was up in New Jersey at the time. It was like just after Christmas. So we were doing this call over Zoom, and I only had my laptop with me, and we were going through notes. You and I had a call that same morning.
Jeff also wrote it, like he wrote pretty much everything else.
And we had talked through notes on like what is the song missing? Like how do we take it to the finish line? And you guys had said like let's try horns. And
well, there were just certain elements that were like, this song is not a halfway song. Like either be
It needs to go
like
hard.
you either need to go low or you need to commit. And there were elements of it that were like, there's just some layer of it's there, but is it totally
Where's the
is it
oomph?
as convicted as it
Yeah.
could be as
Right.
a song? And we're
so
like,
we
what
ended
is
up
it?
doing the horn parts in the session on Zoom first, and it was all just like digital horns, and then I ended up having them tracked from the horn player that plays all of John Bellion's.
Which is the love of my life. If John Bellion, if you're out there, I have to write with
Yeah.
you someday. It's on
I was
my
like-
bucket list.
Shameless plug.
No.
I was like, the horn player?
But I was like, if we're gonna do this, we're gonna do it right.
Yes, and I'm obsessed. He is incredible.
Yeah, and so it's funny because like as we got to the finish line, this horn part, as a producer, I was like, oh man, it's stepping on top of the melody, but it fits so well.
Well, and by the end, I'm like, yeah, it's especially if this
Give it
is
in.
the last song.
It's
on
the second to the last.
Second to
It's the
last.
party ending.
It's on the
It's
closing,
party.
and I'm like, this is where it's like you just want to swirl
Yeah.
in it
Yeah.
and just dance and swing.
It feels right. So this song is just a celebration.
And it's a fun, and this was one of those songs where you guys were dancing the whole ride.
Literally-
I'm like trying to work over here. I'm
Literally.
like,
I have
guys,
so many
please.
videos. This session was only us lyrical dancing to this.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was excited. I was going to see Zach and fly back to him the next day, and it was just about that idea of like I was so happy here in Nashville writing this record. Every day was exciting. I was living my dream. But like at the same time, you can still have that feeling of like half of you is somewhere else, and you're excited to be there, and you're excited to be present with that person. But like kind of loving both sides of your life, and the song was just a freaking party.
Mhm.
Let's do it.
Let's play it.
I've got dreams keeping me busy. Every day feels like a rush, but there's one thing always missing, and it's your touch. And I know that it's my fault, know that I've been gone, but I'm coming home to you. These days it felt like years. My pillow doesn't hold me like you, but it's good at holding tears. And I know that it's my fault, know that I've been gone, but I'm coming home to you tonight. Sorry for the distance, sorry for the nights you've been spending lonely without me by your side. I thank you for your patience, thank you for the times you've given me a reason to keep you on my mind. Coming home to you, coming home to you, you know I always coming home to you. No matter where I go, even Paris or Rome, my heart's always at home with you. Sorry for the distance, sorry for the nights you've been spending lonely without me by your side. I thank you for your patience, thank you for the times you've given me a reason to keep you on my mind. Coming home to you, coming home to you, you know I always coming home to you.
I love that. I remember Jeff's reference was, let's just go straight Katy Perry. Like, hit it hard. We
Yeah, it
have
was
to
the
go
Katy Perry
all
snare that
the
you
Katy
wanted.
Perry snare.
That very, in your
Yes.
face sounding snare.
Which is
And
funny
then we all
because,
had the same note at the very end. In the original
Oh, yeah.
demo, we had these cheesy planes flying over at the
Airplanes.
end.
It was cute.
And it was, but it was funny because
It's too
Jeff,
much.
you were the first one to actually say it to me and go, hey, I think we need to remove the planes. And you like spent a ton of time trying to make sure you didn't offend me, like it was my
That's what
idea.
Jeff
It
was-
was all of
it's-
our ideas.
well, I feel like it was like, no, because we were all guilty of the idea.
Yeah.
Which I was like, listen,
Like-
this is one of those ones where it's like, in the room, yes. On radio, gratuitous.
We had a plane and it was cute and it was me landing and I could have lived with it, but yes, it was a
Well,
good
it was
call.
funny because we talked about it that morning, and then we talked that night to go through the edits, and you guys were like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I think we should get rid of the plane." I was like, "Jeff already got rid of it.
It's already gone.
It's
Yeah.
gone. It's gone."
Departed 7:03 p.m. Eastern Time.
Well, thank you guys who are watching this and tuning in. This is the first listen to my album. Has been so exciting and so fun. These are my collaborators that have made this album happen. We've got one song left before it's over. Mom and Dad, whew! This song really wrecked me writing it, and
Yikes.
another one that was scary to release. I wrote this one with Mark and Bonnie Siegel, and actually
That's my last name.
Mark
Bonnie
Siegel
Baker.
and Bonnie Baker. I'm sorry, we are 3 bottles deep.
Well, I was like,
Bonnie.
I was like,
We
I have
could
to go
be
talk to
family.
Shannon.
Bonnie
Yeah.
Siegel and
We
Mark
love
Baker.
Bonnie.
We love Bonnie. She is such a
Sweetheart.
great, such a sweet person.
Also Shannon, Mark's actual
I'm sorry,
or
Shannon,
fiance.
who's downstairs. I love you.
This
Guys,
has been fun, y'all.
focus. So,
There's only one left.
this song, I was going to bring up a fun fact that you guys probably don't remember, but I realized this was the first time I had the idea of Thank You For Your Patience. So my actual song idea that day was a song called Thank You For Your Patience, and it went, thank you for your patience, your kindness, da-da-da-da. Like, that was all I had for this idea. And so you guys kind of were pulling for me of like, okay, who are you saying this to? Like, who do you feel, And that is where the song came from. And so it's so cool to me to realize, like, this theme, the title of my album, has been there from day one. And it has been, like, the core of what this album has become, which is super cool. But we wrote this one exploring the concept of, like, parent relationships. And those are hard a lot of times. And we make a lot of mistakes just as humans. And I am very hard on myself when I make mistakes. And so this night was just kind of sitting together and realizing that stuff I was holding on to and giving myself the permission to let go of it, and just being like, if your parents can love you and forgive you, like, it's time you do that too. And I feel like you guys both had connections to this in different ways. And this is how I got to work with this lady.
Yeah.
She heard it because she was working with Mark.
Yeah, so I am lucky enough to work with both Mark Siegel and Jackie Castro, so I just love how much of a family this has become. And I had already heard, I think, Luckiest and...
Yeah, this is the same era as
Yeah.
Lucky.
It was the next song after
that
Lucky.
we wrote. Yeah.
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 So it's within like 3 weeks of each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'd heard that, and then I heard one other song that we haven't cut, and it was really great too, but it just didn't make this specific record. And I heard Mom and Dad, and I hadn't met Jackie. I didn't really know much about her other than that my producer was writing with her, and he was sending me these songs. And when I heard the vocal on Mom and Dad, I genuinely was like, who the hell is this? Get me a meeting. I need to meet with this person because I'm in love, like in love. So it was kind of like off to the races after that a little bit.
Yeah, we got drinks, so we had to know. You had just gotten engaged. That was so long ago. But yeah, this song started our relationship, and again, just it kind of gave me the confidence of like, I think this is good. I think we're saying something important, and I think that is so important to me about this album, that I had something to say that was gonna benefit people, not just for myself and not just to like talk, but to like say something that was important. And this is one of those songs that has always felt important.
It's kind of been an anomaly too, because we talked about this a couple weeks ago, but it's this song that people seem to latch onto. Like it's on when we talk about working with other writers, even in the studio.
Yeah.
The amount of writers that come back and are like, that song Mom and Dad, that artist Jackie Castro that you work with, it wrecked me. And I was like, it's this song, this one that keeps coming back for everybody. That's like that. It just, there's something about it that I think everybody can engage with.
Yeah, and I think we were lucky enough to get a little bit of radio play on it when it came out, and I think just, you know, Shazam numbers alone were showing that people in the first listen were really resonating with it and loving it and feeling
And
something.
shout out to Jonathan Schuford.
Jonathan
At the
Schuford.
River, who has supported me. He's been one of my day ones who every time I have a song, he's like, yep, we're going to play it on Top 40 Radio because I love this immediately. And people like that are why, honestly, I have had the courage to keep doing this and be like, okay, people believe in you. You have a reason. You have a purpose. Like, let's keep going. And so people like Jonathan, I'm so thankful for you, who have made me believe in myself enough to make a whole album. That it's still crazy to me that we did this, a completely independent team. I mean, literally, it's like the people in this room made this album, which is a big task. So congrats to all of you.
Absolutely.
Congrats,
Thank you for
we
letting
did
us
it.
be a part of
I
it.
love you
so
guys.
much.
And here's the last song on the album, Mom and Dad.
Woo!
And we end.
Why don't you say I'm sorry? Why can't you swallow your pride? Why do you spend so much time wishing you could leave it all behind when you could just pick up the phone? Don't you know your mom forgives you for all the tears you made her cry? She forgave the girl you wished you hadn't hid behind. Your world she traveled, even when you unraveled, she left her own behind. Your dad loves you even though you pushed him to the side. His best intentions never measured up to other guys. It still hurts him, but he says you were worth it. All those long, hard, sleepless nights. Why can't you see you're human? Why can't you see that you're loved? Why do you spend so much time wishing you could leave it all behind when you Let go of this weight wrap round my chest. Oh, why can't I do it? Get out of this cage I call regret. It doesn't define me. They remind me. Oh, they saw right through it. So why can't I do it? Your mom forgives you for all the tears you made her cry. She forgave the girl you wish you hadn't hid behind. Your world she traveled even when you unraveled. She left her own behind. Your dad loves you even though you pushed him to the side. His best intentions never measured up to other guys. It still hurts him, but he says you were worth it. All those long, hard, sleepless nights. Ooh, ooh, ooh,
It's an album!
It's an album, and we did it.
Well
We
done,
wrote it. We
Jackie.
made it. Thank you guys, and thank you guys for tuning in to the first listen of my album. Thank you for your patience. That comes out at midnight. I'm nervous, excited, all the things. I love you guys. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you. Shout out to my Kickstarter people who made this album happen. This is a dream come true. So,
Thank you.
cheers. Love you all.
But there's one thing always missing, and it's your touch. And I know that it's my fault, know that I've been gone, but I'm coming home to you tonight. Sorry for the distance, sorry for the nights you've been spending lonely without me by your side. I thank you for your patience, thank you for the times you've given me a reason to keep you on my mind. Coming home to you. Coming home to you. You know I always coming home to you. Always avoiding what reminds me. These days it felt like years. My pillow doesn't hold me like you, but it's good at holding